Okay, guys, so I just wanted to make a quick little announcement before I start the review. There's a couple of things you need to note. First thing is, not every question that's on this review will be on the test. I had to make I made the test multiple choice, and so some of the questions on here, I found it hard to make them multiple choice, and so I replaced a couple of them, and I changed how you'll answer the responses for some of them. Um, And so a couple things to note right off the bat is we're going to have 45, 45, 90 triangles on there, or 30, 60, 90, one of the two. Um, you're going to have variation problems, which are one of the lessons I talked about not too long ago. And then I kind of changed the conic one a little bit, and the first one's changed as well, but I think you guys should be able to get it if you understand domain and range from the picture. So what we're going to do for this first one, we've got 2 x squared plus 4x minus 1. X is equal to negative b over 2a is the formula for the vertex. So if we plug that in, we have x is equal to negative 4 over 2 times 2, which is negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. Okay, so negative 1 is our x vertex. And then we plug that in, we have 2 times negative 1 squared plus 4 times negative 1 minus 1. This gives us 2 times 1 plus negative 4 minus 1. 2 minus 5, which is negative 3. So your vertex is 2, negative 3. Now, we know this is upward facing. We could actually probably maybe even factor this, so let's try that. 2x, 2x. We want it to multiply to, no, it doesn't factor. Okay, so never mind unless we use quadratic formula. We do know it's upward facing with the vertex at negative 1, negative 3, so that would be like negative 1, negative 3 would be right here. And then if we wanted to graph it, we could just know it's upward facing and go. Okay, now the important part is figuring out the domain and range. So remember, to figure out domain, do we have any of the following? For domain, do we have 1 over x appearing, or 1 over x squared? Are these there? Or do we have a square root of something? Square root, a fourth root, and so on and so forth. And the answer here is no, we don't have any of those things. So your domain, negative infinity to infinity. Now the range is a little bit limited. If we look, the lowest point we can get to is right here. It's the vertex, which is at negative 3 for y. Negative 3 is a point on the graph because negative 1, negative 3 is the point, the vertex. And it goes up to infinity. And so that would be the range for that. And so you'd be able to get the range from this and figure out the domain just by asking the questions, and then the range by looking at the picture. Okay. For the next question, we have figure out what f times g is. So we have f times g, so that's 3x squared minus 1. This is f times g, which is 2x minus 5. Yes, the parentheses are necessary. This is going to equal 6x to the third minus 15x squared minus 2x plus 5. This is f times g of x. Okay, so that would be your answer for that one. Make sure you distribute and do those things. And then we want g of f of 2. So we want g of f of 2. Well, you can do this two ways. You can compose it. You can do g of f of x, plug f into g wherever x is, and then distribute out and then plug 2 in. Or you can do it this way. I'm going to take f. F of 2 is going to equal 3 times 2 squared minus 1, which is 3 times 4 minus 1, which is 12 minus 1, which is 11. So what we're actually looking for is g of 11, which is equal to 2x minus 5. So we have 2 times 11 minus 5, which is 22 minus 5, which is 17, I believe. So your answer for g of f of 2 is 17. Okay, and so that's how you will do those problems right there, those two. Okay, now let's move on to the last ones. We have some exponential powers or something like that. I didn't really look that well. Yeah. So we have 64 raised to the 2/3 power, which is also the cube root of 64 squared. Well, the cube root of 64, oh man, what is this thing doing? The cube root of 64 is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 4. So this is 4 times 16 and 4 times 4. 3 4s pulls 1 out, so that's 4. So we're looking at 4 squared, which is equal to 16. So your answer for part 3A is 16. The next one we have is the square root of 49. So we're looking at 3B, which is 49 to the negative 1/2 power, which can be written as 49, the square root of 49, to the negative 1 power, which is equal to 1 over the square root of 49, which is equal to 1 over 7, and therefore that would be your answer for that one. And then for our last one, we have to do a little bit more work than the other two because there are multiple things we're looking at. And so we will do the following. Let me clear some space. We have the 4th root of 64, x to the 3rd, y to the 12th, z to the 7th. And so the 4th root of 64, let's look at 64. 64 we said earlier was 4 times 16. This is 2 times 2. This is 4 times 4, which is 2 times 2, 2 times 2. So we've got it broken down into 6 2. So this is just 2 to the 6 technically. Yeah, that's good. And so if we take 4 of them, 1 comes out. So that leaves us with 2 square root of, or 4th root of 4. Because there's 2 left here. 2 times 2 left. Okay, so that's the first part. So we've got the 4th root of 4 and 2 times that. I should leave more space. 2. We have x to the 3rd, but x to the 4th. We don't have enough x's to pull any of them out, so we're going to leave all 3 of them inside. We need 4 to pull 1 out. We don't have 4, but we can leave them in. Y to the 12th, we have y to the 12th to the 1/4 power. Well, that means you have y to the 12 over 4, which is y to the 3rd. Oops. Y to the 3rd. And then z to the 7th. We have 7 over 4, which is equal to 1 3/4. So this is going to pull 1, this is the power of z. There are going to be 3 left over. So let me rewrite this in other terms because I've done this before. This is 1 remainder 3, so this is the power that comes out. This is a z. I think we have to put absolute value around it. I'll let you get away with it because I don't think I did that on the test. And then r to the 3rd, z to the 3rd. Okay, so this is what's left inside. This is how many come out. Just z to the 1. And that would be it for this first page. I hope you guys can figure these things out. Obviously, it's a multiple choice test. You'll be able to kind of work through the problems and hopefully you'll get the answers you want. I'm going to give you 2 attempts in case your internet goes out or something. But make sure you're practicing. Thank you guys for watching.